Hello and welcome in to the LFC transfer room on probably what is the most manic Monday we've had as Liverpool supporters in years. Got Real Madrid in the last 16 and there's the small matter of FSG have put Liverpool up for sale, which is a bit of a mad one. Joined by Damon and Kev today. I'll start with you, Damon. Changed your pants, yeah?
I'm partying, mate. I'm partying. How about you? Get whatever you've got. Get whatever you've got in the cupboards. Get them all out. Let's get it on. Bit of Matt Morrison. Hey, I love this game, boys. I love this game. Honestly, I've been waiting for this moment. This is the day where Liverpool return back to the glory days now. If we get the right person and get the right people in charge. Let's not get this. Not get too excited yet because we could get another FSG. We don't want that, do we? Yeah, let's. I'm buzzing, mate. Honestly, when I came back from work, like 195 messages, this amount of Twitter notifications, people going crazy saying David, what's like? Yeah, I'm still trying to get my head around it. I am.
What about you, Kev? How are you feeling?
All right, mate. Not up to pop world levels of Damo, but yeah, it's I don't know. Part of me's happy, the other part of me isn't. But that said, if that's the way football's going, and that's the only way we compete, then I could be going to pop world later. I don't know yet. How are you, mate, Matty?
I'm made up in some aspects, apprehensive in other aspects because I don't know what to expect. But I think it's big for the club for the reasons you've said. Like, it's one of them. I mean, I don't think I want like an oligarch state or anything, but we definitely needed a change because I think FSG. Before we go into this stream, I just want to say I do think they've done a lot of good for the club over the years. They've given us the 2 new stands, which has put us into the modern era, brand new training complex. They did bring, I know they saw Coutinho, but they bring in the likes of Van Dijk and bringing Klopp to the club. They've won everything here. They've made us relevant again, but I think they've took us just a bit too far as they can take us. I don't think they can take us any further, which is probably the reason for selling. If everyone in the comments seen Jen here saying evening as always, bet you're made up. Jen Jude must be happening now, Jen. We've got Darren Kite as well saying evening. But I just want to start with this comment, Damon. I seen one saying that they're not going to sell the full club. I think it was Adam saying he got the hopes up and thought you're actually going to sell it. Do you think it is just an investor, or do you think it's the full club?
I think they've put it out for a reason. I do think they've put it out for a reason. I don't think the news of the whole club being sold would have come out at all if it was just an investor. I think they might have just dipped the toe in the water in terms of wanting an investor to come in and maybe take a little bit of shares. But I think the reactions of the fans, I think they've got no choice but to sell up. Honestly, they've got everyone excited now. Everyone excited and wanting to get rid of them. But yeah, I do think they've still up. Like you've been saying, Matty, like, are they further on than what they're making out to be? Because Ornstein knows, Liverpool keep everything hush most of the time. And are they a bit further on in negotiations of selling the club? We don't know. I'm hoping we are, because with January transfer window just 2 months away, I don't want to go into that with just FSG as still owners, because they're not going to spend.
What about you, Kev? I mean, they have brought in 2 massive banks to basically value the club and go from there. They've come out and said that it's to get investment into the club. But if we're being honest, they're not going to openly come out and say Liverpool are up for sale, because that could hamper the price if owners know that they're desperate to sell.
It could be, but I think it's a bit further along than what we think. You just don't come out looking for interested billionaires on a half-hearted attempt at the start of November. This is a lot further along than what people think. I think you've had, in the last 5 hours since it came out, It looked like the statement that first came out was initially the one that came out in 2018. That was similar to what that, but that started with a new basic. We are looking for investment. We're not looking to sell. This has come with none of that. And within 5 hours, we got the Boston Globe coming out and saying that they're willing to listen to the club being sold, which is owned by John Henry. They wouldn't be allowed to come out with saying something like that if it's nowhere near to be anywhere near to be the truth. So I think this is a lot further along the line. I think there's a number of factors that have got them to this state. I think the failure of the Super League. I think the Chelsea financial amount that Chelsea went for. I think also Brexit and the plummet of the pound, which means that now the club that's now worth 4.5 billion, in which what we probably are worth, is that going to be the same in about 2 or 3 years' time? I don't think it is. The fact that there's hardly any, and we've reached the peak to a certain degree as to what they can do. This is probably the perfect time to be selling. Who that is, I don't know, but I think depending on who comes in, who's interested, will be determined how much if they do so. But there again, I don't know. I do think it's a lot further along. I don't know what your thoughts are on it, Matty. Do you think it's a bit further along, or?
Yeah. I don't know. I was about an hour ago about the Boston Globe comments, and I put at the bottom like my opinion on it. And I do think that Liverpool are such smooth operators. Now, nothing ever comes out from Liverpool ever. Nothing ever comes out. So for FSG to leak things to the journalists to put out there, like they did with the Henderson contract. Henderson got that leaked and stuff like that. And Liverpool, they don't put stuff in the media unless they want you to know it. And the fact that obviously Ornstein broke it through the Athletic, I think that was them saying, no, like, we are ready. And like you've just said with the Boston Globe saying that, do you think that they'll sell us? That, like you said, that's John Henry's company. And his wife, Linda's actually involved in the day-to-day run. And I think she's the chief editor of the Boston Globe, so she would have had to have overseen that before that article went out. So I wouldn't surprise me if in the next few days it comes out like Joe Bloggs is the number one preferred bidder for Liverpool, and then don't forget the World Cup at the end of this week. All the players goes to World Cup, no club football. It's perfect time for them to negotiate a sale. And for me, the Jude Bellingham, Liverpool being in pole position ahead of Real Madrid, who were minted. The Gakpo news coming out saying that Liverpool in pole position for him as well. It just makes me think, how are we in pole position when FSG would not? To get Gakpo and Bellingham, you're talking 200 million probably for the two of them. FSG aren't going to sanction that. So for that to have leaked in the past few days, it makes me think, has that new owner already been identified? They're going through the fit and proper tests with the Premier League, and it's sort of like they've had to announce it now before it comes out. And it just makes you think of them owners coming in saying, these are the two players we're going to bring in. But Jen, we have got a secret to tell you. We've been saving up all your and we're going to be buying Liverpool Football Club. And Kev's going to be at that. But no, seriously.
God help you if that happens.
Thank you, Jen. You're a hero. You've been a big lover of the channel from the start. We really appreciate it. Moving on to some of the comments, Damon, I'll put this one to you. Do you think something's wrong in the club? That's what Adam's asking. Infrastructure-wise, why do you think they want to sell? Before I ask you that, my 2 pence would be, they bought us for 400 and sort of million. They're going to sell us for 4.4 billion. They've made £4 billion profit in 10 years. It's good investment.
They've done what they needed to, haven't they? That's what they came for. They came, used it as a business, get the money and go. That's what they've done. And I think what they've done basically is seen that Jurgen Klopp does need a rebuild now. And then you're talking January, summer, we need to spend a bit. And what they've done is shit themselves. They've shit themselves. And they've thought, we can't do this. We can't afford this. We can't afford it. Well, they can afford it, but they've chosen not to. And they know they'd not be able to back a Klopp, so they're just leaving on the eye. And if we don't make Champions League football, as bad as it sounds, that's another lot of money they're going to lose out on. They care about the top four. And whilst Liverpool are the highest peak in terms of the value of the club right now, it's better to sell now than before. It could drop. You know what I'm saying? Especially like you said, the pound going down. Brexit, I don't think it's going to get any higher unless another owner comes in and we continue to be successful. But under FSG, it's just going to go backwards again, and the club value goes backwards with it. And it's best time to sell now. That's what they're doing.
What about you, Kev? Why do you think now they've come in? Is it maybe because the Anfield Road finished the start of next season, so now they're selling a club with 60,000 capacity? They got 2 sides of the stadium done. The planning permission is there for the Kenny stand as well. Do you think that's all factored in?
Yeah, I think a lot of factors are in place. A new training ground's being bought. The as you say, the two lot of the stands are being updated. There's rumours about the roof getting done as well, coming off and getting updated. There's that. I think, as I alluded to earlier, of the factors of what Chelsea were bought for, the fact that the Premier League, and the biggest factor of all is the Super League failing and FFP not working in football. Had those two worked and would have went through, then you would have seen these being a little bit more active. It's a fair playing field. The fact that you need at least 200 million per transfer window to compete in this league is too far of a reach for FSG. I think the difference is with the likes of Man City owners, who will look on with a bit of jealousy, is that we've got the history as well as, so you got the infrastructure of the club. Hardly anything needs to be redeveloped. All money goes into the actual club, and you've got the generations already at the club and the backing of the club. That's everything that a billionaire wants, and everything's there in place. The only thing that needs really to be put in place is recruitment on the pitch. Everything else is there for anyone to walk in. So you're not spending 900 million on a new stadium, then on facilities. You're automatically putting that money straight into recruitment, and you're putting that into that place. That's why Liverpool's probably in the best place, perfect place to be sold at the minute, and there'll be loads of people interested because of that factor, I think.
I'm gonna bring some of these comments up now. In fact, first of all, we'll speak on this. Spirit Shankly have actually came out and said that they want to be part of who is buying the club and they want to have a say on it and stuff. Do you think they need to be very careful? Because I'm a fan of Spirit Shankly and what they've done for the club, but I don't think they speak on behalf of every fan within the club, do they?
Yeah. A lot of people in this fan base, and you'll get in every fan base, they'll think that they speak for a lot of fans, but they don't. Spirit Shankly, like you said, they've done a lot for this club, and we do need spotters in that club, but I think we need a mixture across the world, but even like fans from other countries, because this is a worldwide club. This is a global brand, and Liverpool Football Club won't be one of the biggest clubs in the world if it wasn't for their worldwide fans. And I think if we can get a bit of fan base in it, on the board of directors, they don't even have to invest into it, just have some sort of say, then we'll think we're going in the right direction. An ownership that will get the fans on board like that within the club shows how much they care about the club itself, and that's what we want.
Do you think Spirit Shankly should have a say in who buys us, Kev? Because do they speak on behalf of all the fans, and do you think that them saying that they want to say on it, could that then result in us getting an owner similar to FSG, who maybe isn't as dodgy as other billionaires, but we're just going to be in the same standpoint? It's
hard with Spirit of Shankly. I'm actually a member of the Spirit of Shankly, and I totally agree with everything that they've done. They've got a supporters board with the club, which is unique, that no other Premier League club has got. They've got it written that any further plans of Super League or anything that happened in the past doesn't go past them. There needs to be some kind of consultancy with that supporters board, because we have to remember, these owners don't come in as just owners and they come in as custodians. We allow them to be at our club. They are custodians. They are watching over our club. So as supporters, we have a vital say. Now, the supporters club, Spirit of Shankly are on that board, and they've got 10 members, and the 6 other members of other parts. I think the disabled and a few others. Pardon if I don't know who they all are. Sorry, but there are 16 members on that board, and they only stay on the board for 2 years, and that has only just recently started. So I think if we, as a fan base, even if you like or don't like, I think you have an opportunity to join something that is part of that board and have a say. So that's where the supporters, if you're not happy with what the Spirit of Shankly are doing, then by all means, make that vocal, join, become a member, have your say. Every person has an opportunity to say what they want and do what they want. They've done a lot for the club. They've done a lot for arrests around the country, and I've got a lot of them taken away. They've sent people over to Paris to talk about what happened in the UEFA Cup final. So there's a lot of things that the UEFA, that the Spirit of Shankly have done. A lot of people don't agree with certain things. Some people believe that they shouldn't be speaking on their behalf, but I think they are a vital member, and have got a board that it's unique in the Premier League, and they have a say. And they need to have a consultation at least to make them understand as to what's going on with the club and what factors. They're not going to have a big say in it, but they need to be consulted at least to have to be understood where they're going and what they're looking to do. Are they just looking for investors, or are they looking to sell?
So can anyone join FSG then, Kev? I mean,
not
frankly.
Yeah. It's open to anyone to join. Anyone can join. It's a £10 for the yearly fee, and all you do is you join. I've joined. I've never used them. I've never had to use them, but they're vital, especially if you're going away and you know it. Mainly, you see a lot of it. It was started back in 2008 with 350 members in the Sandon pub, and it was down to them that we then get rid of Gillette and Hicks, and that's where the problems lie. The abuse that was received to them. There's books being written about what have done the Hicks and Gillette. Fans going over to America, seeing Gillette going in and outside the banks, and then next minute a bank getting a virus sent to their to the bank to say, look, don't give them money and we'll get rid of this virus. This is what was happening all in that 2007 when the club was in. I'll be honest, I thought we were going to lose the club, and that's why there's a bit of reluctance from myself that we have got to a point now where we're probably going in the same direction. We're going to sell the silver again, but it's the wary of, are we going to go down what road we're going to get. It's great at the minute that we've got this foresight and we think, oh well, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. It's great, it's fantastic, and certain fans are going to be more delighted than others. But I go in with a bit of worry and a bit of trepidation because of what's happened past, and I don't want to see those protests again. I don't want to see the diverse between the club and the actual fans getting as far as what it did. And I'd like us to be at least the one thing that FSG have done, and you got to give them confidence for. There's been a bit of unity over the past 12 years, past 10 years that they've been in charge of us that I haven't seen for a while. So it's open to anyone. Go on the Spirit of Shankly website if you want to know more. It'll tell you at the start how it happened, why they became the Spirit of Shankly. And join if you want, and have your say. You have your right as a fan to have your say. And if you're not happy with something, they're the people that you go to. They have a focal meeting. They have 4 meetings a year with the club. That's been written down on paper. And any new person that comes in, whether it's a state or whether it's a billionaire, they have to adhere to and abide to what's been agreed with FSG in the past since March of this year.
I'd urge every fan there. I'd urge every fan, to be honest, because I've seen loads of people since Spirit of Shankly released their statement today saying, like, who do they think they are? They don't speak on behalf of everyone. So if every fan went and signed up to the Spirit of Shankly, and I'm assuming there probably would be a vote where all owners are listed, and it's like, which one would you prefer? And they go and say the fans would prefer.
Well, yeah, a prime example. I'm sorry if this is going on a bit far, but basically, I got given what was going to be delivered to FSG and what they offered, and that was given to every member, and we had the vote on that. and that was voted on. And 98% of the vote was actually for to join the supporters board, which is what's happened. You have only any major decision that has to be made at the club, and it has to be made. It'll come back to the fans. This is why we need, this is why there needs to be a consultancy, because at some point, even if we do sell, there has to be a number of players who want to play. And if you're a member of the Spirit of Shankly, you'll get a vote as hopefully. This is all down to FSG, by the way, so don't be blaming. You know what I mean? But if they say there's like 4 or 5, I'm hoping that the consultation allows the Spirit of Shankly to go, well, can we go away and have a way with our members, and we will vote on who we want, and then that's when you'll get an email through. I got given about 4 emails. I've also went on a few consultations that the Spirit of Shankly done prior to taking up this FSG agreement. And there was a lot of consultation. There's likes of Ian Byrne, the MP that's on there, Joe Blott, who's also a Labour MP as well. There's a lot of people. This isn't just fans who are just like me who've made up that and part of LFC transfer. These are people who've got the right stakes, so who are on that board. There's lawyers on there. There's people who've got who know how to make these decisions, and they're who are on the board, as well as a few other people that are on there. So it's vital for every fan to be given that opportunity, and that's only possible by going through the factors. There's disabled supporters group that are on there. There'll be other members, so you don't have to just join the Spirit of Shankly. You can join by anywhere else, and then be able to, hopefully we get an opportunity to have our say. If we do though, and that's the problem.
What Kev's saying, Remy, is if you join Spurs of Shankly and it doesn't get up to the fans, it go through Spurs of Shankly, so then we could vote that way. Because I've seen a lot of hate of people saying who's Spurs of Shankly think they are, sending statements to FSG. If there was to be a vote, it'd go through Spurs of Shankly, so it's probably ideal if you did want to be part of that vote to join Spurs of Shankly. But it's if it gets to that point. And also on your other comment, Remy, it's actually not nonsense, because the Boston Globe have come out and said FSG are willing to sell the whole club, and the Boston Globe is owned by John Henry, so the club is up for sale, whether that be an investor or to sell. If someone comes in basically with 4.5 billion, they will sell the club. Which brings you on to the next comment, Damon. And Dicko has said, might be something in this, to be honest. Emirates sovereign state of Dubai are interested in a top European club, where Liverpool are going on a warm weather training camp next week. Now, the whole theory that this could be further along than what is being made out, which probably does seem true. Is there something in this warm weather training camp, do you think, or is that just reading too much into it?
I think it is reading too much into it. I'd love it to be true, but I think it is reading too much into it. The training camp, it's basically the team, in it. It's the team, it's the manager, it's the coaching staff. It's not the people that are in the background going over there and training in the hot, warm weather. A couple of could go over, maybe like a couple of board members could go over with them, but I very much doubt it. Very much doubt it. And that's me. It'd be wishful thinking if I said anything different, if I'm honest. Who do I want Liverpool to buy Liverpool next, though? Just someone that really cares. I think that's all I care about. Just someone that cares and wants to have success on the pitch. And I don't think I know we've got success off the pitch, off FSG, but I don't think that's what they really came for. In their mind, they wanted to come and saw a business opportunity, cheap option for a big club at that point, where they were, it was a cheap buy, and always had potential of making the money back like they have, and they have done, and they've got it. They're going to get rid and get the money back, a million times over. So that's what they've done. And someone coming in, I just want someone to care. We don't need Man City owners. We don't need Newcastle owners. We don't need that sort of money. We need Klopp being backed when he needs to be backed. I've said it for a long time. I'm tired of saying it, to be honest. And that's all we care. Like when Kris talking about the Spirit of Shankly, they speak to the owners about who they want to come in and things like that, and we get to vote. I'd love to have a say on it. I would be joining Spitter Shankly, but I, you know what I'm saying? I think it should be open to fan base around, because I just think we all need to say, look, we just want someone that cares about this club, and someone that's going to come to this city, visit the city, care about the city itself. They don't have to do, they don't have to turn it into the best city in the world. It already is, one of the best cities in the world. That's, you two can vouch for that, can't you? So,
yeah.
And but you know what I'm saying? John Henry didn't hardly visit Liverpool. He came once every 2 years. That's not good enough. You guys know, what's being built around Liverpool. Has it improved since John Henry and FSG have come over? The surrounding areas of it.
No,
not to the degree that Man City have.
No.
If you look at do you know what I mean?
I think it just tells you everything that you need to know. I don't really think they care, and that's all we need, is just owners that care.
He's not there at Stoke on a Wednesday night, is he? You know what I mean? He's not there enough for that, like, is he?
Just a quick one on this, Remy comments. The FSG statements, what I would say with that is they're not going to actively come out. We spoke about it before. Not going to actively come out and say this club's for sale, because then people know they're desperate to sell, less money, etc., etc. But on state ownership, oil money ownership, Kev, now it does go against a lot of what the club stands for. A lot of our fans take great pride in the fact we've won the leagues, Champions Leagues, without having money like City. But when you look into what City, I know it's sports washing, but I know when you look into what City have done around their area, completely revitalised that area, put jobs and money into that city. As bad as it is, it'd benefit the city as a whole, wouldn't it?
Do you know what? This is the thing that I've been trying to get my heartstrings around, because half of me would want that, and I would know that around the city, and especially around the ground, it would be done up to a fantastic. It'll be better than anything this government would ever give to our city whatsoever. We'd get more on that basis. I would, but. And this is where it goes against it. The values of the club mean so much, and what this club means, and the way we are a socialist club. We are for everyone, and we should be for everyone. And unfortunately, and this is the problem. Try and find me a billionaire that's got clean money, because none of I saw the message there. And not all billionaires, they haven't got the money for being an angel, have they? They've been given the money because they're either ruthless, or the state, and there's humanitarian issues and other issues that's the problem you've got with it, is that it then brings on other issues that we've been throwing bricks at, and now we're in that greenhouse, and now those bricks are coming back to us. Do you know what I mean? So it feels a bit like being an Evertonian kicking off on certain things that Liverpool fans do, and then next minute they're doing it to rile up a relegation battle. Do you know what I mean? So it's taking it as it is. Unfortunately, the game, FSG isn't the problem. Football's the problem. And the fact that we've allowed our game to go to the state it is. In fact, it now needs billionaires who have more money than countries to actually own it, to have a standard chance of actually winning it in this league. And I think that's the issue that everyone's got. That it's got to that game, and a monopoly game, and it's getting to the end point now where fans are. I know certain fans will walk away if it is a state government who comes in, because of the rights and the morals that they have for the club. But I don't know where you stand with it, Matty, but I'm a bit conflicted with it all. On one side I can see the advantages, but then that money has come from somewhere where I know there's other problems and political issues that need to be addressed globally, not only. But I can't take a blinded eye because other team, because I haven't done it with other teams, you see.
Yeah, it's tough because myself, I don't like, say, Newcastle, for example. I'm so against what the Saudis do, the public rights, human rights, women, stuff like that. I wouldn't like someone like that to own Liverpool. But for like what you've just said, this city and the people within this city will not get nothing off them rats in Downing Street. Absolutely nothing. Even more so now, there's the even bigger rats got in there. I don't think that the city probably will be going another managed decline like we've seen with the Witch. And I feel like someone like that coming in, putting money into the city, jobs into the city, it helps the city So as a bigger picture, I wouldn't be not someone like the Saudis, but someone like City's owners who they aren't great.
Someone as clean as they can be, but with the right intentions.
Yeah, because I don't think you'll ever find a clean billionaire, to be honest.
You're not. You're not.
But I don't want owners like Newcastle's. If it was like the Saudis buying us, I'd be so against it. I really would, just for what they stand for. But then every billionaire in the world has probably done something dodgy. You don't become a billionaire. If you can become a billionaire without being dodgy, someone tell me how. Because I'd love to be a billionaire myself. But I just think just based off what can happen to the City, if you got someone like City's owners in and they come in and they redo up Anfield, because let's be honest, Anfield's a shithole. So if they come in and they put money into it and it's jobs for our people and stuff like that, I am a bit more for it. But then you're not going to know if they're going to do that from the start, because we didn't know City's owners were going to come in and regenerate the whole city and give jobs to all the people around there and stuff. So it is hard.
But that's how you get around the loophole of FFP, though, isn't it? Because you're building within the structure and the infrastructure around you, that then creates the loopholes, which is what FSG were trying to get past, is the fact that, well, wait there, you're saying you're doing that, but then you look at all the investments and sponsorship deals that Man City have got. They're all Saudi, aren't they? Or Emirates. You know what I mean? Yes, he had stadium.
Like City spent more than us in the last 5 years. That's not really a fact. Their figures are fudged to the highest of margin.
You only have to look at the
figures. Spent more than Haaland. There's probably spent more than Haaland than we've had in the last 5 years.
Yeah, and they've just reported profits of 697 million, but they can't fill the stadium. There's no way they're making that much profit. Not a chance. No way.
Exactly.
Liverpool and City don't make money like that. Like, I know profit. Sorry, that was before the top line number was 697 million. They don't make that. Everton's bigger than them, and that's not even taking the piss. A bigger club globally than Man City. But Damon, Klopp, and he's just saying he wants to wear Klopp's thoughts on this. Now, Klopp's an interesting one, because he's always said he doesn't stand for ownership like Manchester City. So if that's who FSG sells to, because let's be honest, they're going to sell us to the biggest bidder. If they come in, do you think Klopp would walk, or do you think he'd stay and think, fancy me chances with loads of money? Because he's never had that in his career.
You know what? like Nish said there, I'd love to hear what Klopp thinks about that, because imagine him saying that you got 100 million here, go get Joe Belly and be like, you are. You know what I'm saying? You'd be like a kid at Christmas, won't you? Be like, kid, hell, I've allowed it now. You know when your kid asks you for something and you're like, no, not until that day. And you get him on that day, you're like, can I go get it now? Can I actually go get it? Are you sure? And they'll ask you, are you sure? That's what Klopp's going to be like. And imagine Klopp with a bit of backing. Guys. This is what I want to see. This is where we will see Jurgen Klopp now, if he is the man to lead us to a dynasty, if he stays long enough, because his contract's going to run out at some point. It'd be interesting to see if he does stay a lot longer now. It'd be interesting to see what happens after this and what he says. He's not going to say out publicly about FSG until they actually sell. I don't think even when they'll try to ask him in the press conference what they ahead of a Derby game and ahead of Southampton game, but I think he'll keep it hush-hush for now. And yeah, just give him what he needs. Give him what he needs. I think it'd be like me pissing in my pants today with excitement. So,
does it worry you, Kev, that Klopp has several times said about this, that he could maybe go, or do you think, like what Damon's saying, Klopp secretly will be made up? Because it feels like he has had a few more digs at the owners.
It's very interesting. He's probably one of the few who's willing to come out and tell his social views and have his and the ethics of the game as well, and what he stands for and what he doesn't stand for, and it's great. But let's see how that plays out with who comes in. I don't know, Matty, if I'm being perfectly honest, but it's great. I think Klopp would see it from the standpoint of this season, and will think, do you know what? I won't have the issues that I've had this season, as bad as what I've had. I won't have to struggle to manage the budget. I can now just go in and get whoever I want. And that, as you say, that's something he's never had in his career. But you give someone who hasn't had that in his career all the wealth and all the joy. Sometimes it doesn't work. So, you know, I doubt it would go that way. But, you know, he's now going in. He will now have the mindset of being able to compete against the likes of City and the likes of Real Madrid. And he's probably wishing that it was a year earlier, because we would have got Tchouaméni and we would have got someone else, and we would have brought the whole world. Do you know what I mean? So he's probably thinking it's probably a year too late, but it will be intriguing to see what he says about it. Where do you stand with it?
Do you reckon he'll
Sorry.
take a close? Sorry, do you reckon he'll take a close look at the fans' reaction to all this?
Klopp's
Especially who would bring in as well.
Defo.
He'll be listening to the fans more than anything.
Yeah, defo.
It's hard though, innit? Because I feel like the fans are excited because it's a horrible position to be in. Like you said, Kev, this is what footy's come to. Like the owners that can afford Liverpool, we don't really want them. But if you want to still compete as a Liverpool fan, you sort of need them now, don't you?
But you're going against your moral values of what you've been brought up with, or of what you've been brought up with as a kid, what you've thoroughly took in from the heart all the way through your life and blood. And now it's got to a game where it's just billionaires playing against billionaires, and to win anything you need that kind of investment in the club. We've had the right investment. It's just that at the wrong time. If we had that right, if we had FSG in the 90s, we would have been all right, and we would have been a lot more closer to Man United, and it wouldn't have took us 30 years. The problem we've got is that we now get in this game now where we're playing against people who've got more money than anyone else. Do you know what I mean? It's just it feels as though it's not a fair playing ground anymore. The likes of seeing teams coming up, like I remember back in the day, the likes of Derby County coming up and winning the league the following season. You're not going to see that. The likes of Leicester happening. You're not going to see that. It's not a fair game anymore. It hasn't been since Sky. Sky ruined the game, because everything before that's been there's no history after before 92. Everything all the stats, everything is all about from 90 in the Premier League. See, no, the league's been going for over 100 years. Jesus Christ. You know, there's loads of stats there that have been missed, and, you know, leading goal scorers. There's far more leading goal scorers, because at every club there's always a Greavesy, there's always a Rush, and there's always a Dennis Law. So, you know, you can't pick and choose where you start the stats from and all like that. So it's hard as fans, because we're torn, because this is what we want. We've always wanted this. United fans are probably looking in a jealous way in the fact that they've wanted to get rid of Glazers and have been fighting for it. We haven't. And we've got first dibs on someone to come in and take over us. This is the way the game's going, and it's sad in a way. You're going to lose a lot of fans because of it, I think.
You know, the irony of it all is, I think, if FSG actually played the cards right, I think it would have worked.
Yeah.
I think the amount of money this club makes, right? We make enough million over than, you know, Man City. They do it cheating. You know, they do it how they do it. There's no way they make the money they do. We make sort of Man United money. We're a bigger, you know, just as big as brand as Man United. One of the biggest clubs in the world. I think we make enough money as a club, as a football club, to reinvest back into transfers, to buy United Bellingham without money from FSG. We don't need the money in their pockets. We're making enough ourselves. But the fact that we haven't reinvested that sort of money from TV money, from commercials, from sponsorship, through the prize money we've won over the Champions League and the Premier League, where's it all gone? Because we don't need to. But every single summer, every single January, it's always sell to buy. Who do you want this season? Well, Klopp is looking at his squad thinking, you know, who can I sell here to make up the money that I want this guy for? Liverpool Football Club didn't need to do that. And I think if FSG played it right, I think it can work.
When they came in, wasn't it, that they were going to run it as a business, and that's what they've done. And it doesn't work, but that they've made a lot of
business. Yeah, it's worked as a business. Completely worked as a business. Look how much money they made. 300 million to 4.2 billion. Wow,
insane! It's the right model. It shows that it's the model that everyone wants to take. It's the kind of model that Newcastle have looked at and are trying to adhere to, until they get to the point where they can then start playing and doing what City are doing. But it's a great model to follow if you're not in the top 5 or 6. It's the perfect way to build your club. I think we've outgrown them. I don't think they realised how globally the club was and how quickly these commercial deals were going to bring us. You look at how much our investments has gone in, how much we're making and raking up, and they've just gone. I reckon it's been a bit of a wow. I didn't expect this to happen so quickly. I think they were expecting this over a period of time. But when you start winning stuff with this team, wow, you'll see the fan base. You know what I mean? The fan base just grows completely.
You know, the money eyes. The money eyes.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's the cartoons, isn't it? It's the cartoons where the dog sees the little kitten sort of turns into a bone, doesn't it? It turns into a bone. Exactly. That's what they saw. They saw that money and they thought, oh wow, a piece of this.
Remy, you're the king of bringing comments up because you know I'm going to get them up, but I don't understand how you can think Liverpool's investment is higher than Real Madrid's when we're starting 37-year-old James Milner this season. I mean, FSG, like I said at the very start of the stream, I don't know if you was at the very start, they've done a lot of good within the club. They've expanded Anfield. They've given us a new training complex. They brought Jurgen Klopp and they won us every trophy under their tenure. They have done a lot of good for the club. But like we've said several times, I don't think they can take us further in a league where Newcastle are now big players, City are big players, Chelsea are big players. So, but I can't think you can say they've been good. They've invested into the squad much. They've invested into the infrastructure, but the squad. And let's not forget the only thing that for me, when I wanted FSG to go was when they tried to trademark our Liverbird. That was when enough was enough for me because that's our Liverbird, not theirs. That pissed me off. Exactly. So now if they go, if a big massive billionaire comes in, they aren't going to be asked for trademarking a Liverbird. Do you know what I mean? Like that's something that did piss me off with FSG. But before we do go, I'll ask both of you. Start for you first, Damon. What would you prefer? An investment so FSG can continue to operate us as a very smooth business. I mean, I know your answer before I even ask you, Damon, but or a full takeover, and if so, who do you want? Before we do that, thank you very much, Rabadan, for your.
One second, I'll get a list of people that can take over here.
I mean, if you ask Damon, he'll probably tell you Satan already owns us.
I've been carrying a pocket for a year wanting to get The Rock says he's a fan. The Rock said he's a fan. Well, how much money have you got? I've been looking into the Rock's bank accounts actually.
Have you?
You know what? Going down that route, Vince McMahon wouldn't be a bad shout. Imagine Vince McMahon taking over. He's got the money. Just like I said before, someone that cares. I think it's all right saying, you know, someone that cares that can't afford Liverpool. Every single billionaire, you know, every person that's in this line to buy Liverpool are billionaires. They're all millionaires, so they've got the money. So it's not like we're going to transfer windows without the money. You know, these are rich, very rich people. FSG are rich people. I know they don't act like the rich people, but they are rich people. Just someone that cares. Invested back into the city as well as the club. You know, just I want someone like, you know, like the Leicester City owner. You can tell how he felt. He felt the passion for the Leicester fans, didn't he? And he felt the passion for the club. He felt the passion for the city. A bit like Jurgen Klopp. I want Jurgen Klopp as an owner. Whoever can feel that sort of passion for the club and passion for the city like we do, that's exactly what I want.
What about you, Kev? Investments, complete takeover, and if so, what's the best scenario for you? If you had to say on
the best scenario, the best scenario for me is someone who's got the values of the club at their heart and are willing to spend around the ground and are willing to invest in the club and have got good, clean money. That ain't happening, unfortunately. I don't know if I'm perfectly honest. There's going to be loads of suitors. There's going to be states involved. Mukesh Ambani is another one. He's been around a few times. He's worth 830 billion. You know, it's preposterous. I just want someone to come in who's got clean money and can provide us with the recruitment and investment that we need to put on the pitch and not in around the stands, and not willing to milk the supporters as much as they can, and realize and have a socialist kind of point of view in the fact that the money can't come from the fans. It's got to come from commercially and investments, and we've got to do them correctly and put at least 200 million on that playing field every transfer window if needed. Whoever that is, please get in touch with
You know what?
rightmove.com.
The 200 million thing as well. 200 million thing as well. Even if we spent 200 million, we could still nick some back from sales. So that's
exactly
that. They don't even have to spend 200 million in the end anyway.
You don't.
They spend a bit more than nothing.
Yeah, for me, that's the most annoying thing, because I'd love, like what you're saying, Kev, I'd love someone to come in who's like a socialist, gets the club.
Exactly. It's not going to happen, though.
No.
It'll be great.
But being honest, the only way we're getting bought is an Arab billionaire.
It is, unfortunately, sadly, and that's what it is. I've seen someone say in the comments there, I think James saying, "Show me a socialist billionaire, and I'll show you a unicorn." I get it, mate. I do. It's just, if you're asking me what's perfect for me, that's my ideology of what would be the perfect Liverpool owner. It's never going to happen, though, because we don't live in that. We live in a capitalist society in which you've got to get rich quick and all the money for yourself, and it's a race to the bottom. And unfortunately, that's the way it is. I'd like the infrastructure. I'd like everything around the actual ground to be actually invested in as well. So if anyone's coming in, that they invest into the city as well, not just in the club, but that means taking on values that I hold dear to myself and probably to yourselves. But it's not going to happen. We're going to have greedy owners that are going to come in, and we're going to lose a lot of fans because of it.
There's only
That's
one
what
solution.
I think.
There's only one solution.
Go on.
A GoFundMe page. That's the only way forward. How many fans are across the world? Liverpool fans across the world.
Could you imagine that? Oh my God!
But then on my page, Liverpool want to buy Belgium this summer. It's a tenner each chance.
Yeah, get it done. Let's get a WhatsApp group set up.
Imagine that WhatsApp group, how big it is. Imagine the difference of opinion on what players to bring in, what formation to play, what manager to sign. Honestly, oh God, that's the problem with socialism. Too many.
Jen, if you're still in the chat, Jen, get it set up. We'll start from your foundations. We'll start with your money. Let's get this kicking.
Appointments, Kev. That's you want Kev as the gaffer.
Exactly. See, God help you if that happens. I tell you, I'll be the worst.
But nice one for everyone for tuning in today. It's been Boss. The future looks bright, worrying. There's so many words you can describe it for Liverpool. One thing's for sure, though, it looks as though money is coming into the club. Well, type of money, we don't know. Comments have been Boss today. Nice one to everyone who's commented, who's tuned in, who's watched. We're here every single day at 7:30. We'll be back tomorrow for a Derby build-up stream. Hopefully we can see Ben Dowick in that game. And then we'll be back after the Derby game as well, like we are every single day on YouTube. Nice one for everyone for listening. I've been Matty, been joined by Damon and Kev. You've been listening to LFC Transfer Room. A nice one for watching.